Yuta is a character that many can relate to. His core drive as a person is wanting to find a reason to live, or more specifically if it is okay for him to be alive. Yuta echoes this idea in some way in almost all of his interactions, and for how short his Volume 0 run is, he manages to develop in a satisfying way, and ends off as a good character, which is a testament to Akutami's skill at writing most of her characters. Hello everyone, I'm Cursed Valor, and I'm going to be talking about the cursed child Yuta Okkotsu. Yuta is someone who most of the fanbase seems to enjoy, and as of recent he has become much more integral to the overall narrative, so I thought it would be in our best interest if I covered him in a video. Yuta is initially a very afraid character, and someone who fears being alone, but is unable to reach out to others due to Rika's immense presence and control over his life. Even against those that were harassing Yuta, his first resort is to try and keep them safe by warning them, but Rika forcibly protects Yuta and stuffs them into a closet, almost killing them in the process. After Yuta's talk with Gojo, however, Yuta is faced with being lonely and he cannot accept this, so he joins Jujutsu Tech in order to avoid this. In Jujutsu High, we are shown Yuta's future friends and a core part of Jujutsu Kaisen, Maki, Panda, and Inumaki. At first, the group are hostile towards Yuta after sensing the immense pressure that was emitted by Rika, but after some words from Gojo and an outburst from Rika, they seem to calm down. At this point, Yuta's uncontrollable power nets both him and Rika the title of Special Grade Sorcerer and Special Grade Curse respectively, and that power is subtly implied a few times within Volume 0, and it is considerably greater than most people would ever imagine. Rika is a curse that is considered by Geto to be an endless amount of cursed energy, and is considered by Gojo to be a threat to his life, stating, quote, "I would risk my life to stop her," end quote, clearly implying her ability to present a real threat to his life just as he states. This is an arguably stronger Gojo than the one that completely violated Toji Zenin, the Sorcerer Hunter, and a Gojo that was later known as the quote-unquote the strongest. Later on, we see just the presence of Rika alone completely terrify a semi-grade 1 curse that even demonstrates Jujutsu techniques. This curse is likely comparable or even greater than that of the Grasshopper curse in the Shibuya arc, as that curse was considered to be roughly semi-grade 1 or lower. Grasshopper himself being able to survive attacks from a somewhat holding back Yuji, who was compared to Nanami in power, Nanami being capable of destroying massive structures and being known for his massive amounts of power and force. Rika herself was considered to be the deciding factor in the 100 Demons War, Geto himself claiming he had a 30% chance of winning the war. However, with Rika, he would have a 99% chance of winning. Geto states this despite knowing the strength of Gojo and the rest of the Jujutsu world, and has yet to even see the full capabilities of Rika, but claims it will allow him to win the war regardless. This is important because for Geto to be this confident of something, it must mean that it is almost certainly going to win the war, and as Gojo states, quote, "It's hard to imagine him starting a war he cannot win," end quote. During Yuta's bout with Geto, we get to see Geto refer to Rika as, quote, "the Queen of Curses," end quote. A similar title is given to Ryomen Sukuna, the, quote, "King of Curses," end quote, who is renowned for having beaten the golden age of Jujutsu sorcerers, and is arguably the strongest being in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. In the very next page, we even see Yuta use reverse curse technique, which is considered to be incredibly difficult to use, and the only other confirmed users of this kind of technique are Gojo, Shoko, and Sukuna, which further ties into the title of, quote, "Queen of Curses." Yuta and Rika fight together against Geto and copy and use the Inumaki clan's techniques of cursed words. Much later on in Shibuya, Geto elaborates on Yuta's boundless cursed energy and ability to unconditionally copy curse techniques. Geto learning about this after his win chance assessment further shows the immense power Geto thought Rika possessed. Considered the Queen of Curses, it is likely Geto was not making a poor assessment when he said she would give him a 99% chance of victory. Geto himself was once considered to be the strongest alongside Gojo, and especially during Volume 0, there are many indications to Geto's actual strength. I will explore Geto's strength in a later video, as he is definitely downplayed. Yuta and Rika were capable of clashing multiple times with Geto, and Geto himself explored the idea that the power Yuta was feeling was the result of him almost killing his friends. Yuta, even in this fight, continues to improve over and over again, and Geto even notes that Yuta was getting much faster. This then ties into the Maki statement, where she explains that there are consequences to losing, and when there are consequences, we improve much quicker. Yuta's cursed energy in this fight was so great that even the sword he was using couldn't contain it all and broke apart when hitting Geto. At the climax of Yuta and Geto's fight, Geto uses a final attack that combines one of the 16 special grade curses and over 4,400 curses of varying strengths into one condensed cursed energy attack. The technique is known as Maximum Uzumaki and is known as the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery outside of domain expansions. Yuta responds to Geto by unlocking the limits of cursed energy and completely eclipses the power that Geto showed, defeating him in the process. Yuta is someone who changed throughout Volume 0 in some simple and some complex ways. Yuta discovered his reason to live through his friends and comes to find a home within Jujutsu High. During his talk with Maki, he confesses that he wants to be someone like her, strong and resilient. It's here that we see Yuta laugh for the second time since his arrival at Jujutsu High, showing his connection with Maki and his friends, showing the changes they brought about on Yuta as a character. Yuta changed from the kid who tried to take his own life into the man who would give it all to stop Geto from hurting his friends or anyone else. This isn't even to mention the effect Gojo had on Yuta. Others, like Inumaki, helped Yuta to realize the kindness in others and allows Yuta to really connect with the group and come to know them as friends. Despite being no match for the semi-grade 1, Yuta was willing to risk his life in order to protect Inumaki, showing the change from suicidal to someone who is willing to die for others instead of himself. Yuta in many ways hides the depth of his character through subtle actions, such as his almost trance-like state when fighting Geto, acting incredibly different from how he acted with his friends. He was wide-eyed and bloodlusted the whole fight and showed a devotion-like attitude to Rika, telling Geto it was, quote, true love, end quote, when Rika was the cause of his depression and struggled to keep living for 6 years. Perhaps Rika had changed Yuta in some way in that moment. Yuta does seem to be far more cold in the current day, so maybe Rika really was the one who cursed Yuta instead of Yuta cursing her. Thank you for watching, everyone. I've been meaning to talk about Yuta for a while now, and with the recent chapters showing his return, I thought it was time to talk about him. I spoke about Geto a few times in this video, and he is someone who I want to talk about. Sukuna, I also want to talk about. Stay on the lookout for that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Stay cursed, everyone.
いい機会だ。教えてやる。本物の呪術というものを。領域展開。福間水す。